poured and poured overnight. It absolutely thundered down. So much so that I had to put some earplugs in. What a beautiful morning. This is absolutely stunning. When I left home this morning, I was planning on doing an ultra lightweight camp to the top of a mountain. I had about a 4-hour walk, about a 900-meter climb to get to the top of a mountain where we were going to be camping out in the open. But the weather forecast changed, as it always does when you live on an island, and New Zealand is an island, which means we are expecting the unexpected. You always have to expect the unexpected, 4 seasons in a day. And by the time I got to the start of the walk, the weather forecast had changed significantly. It was pouring with rain. That rain wasn't expected until 9 o'clock at night, but it was pouring with rain, and I did not want to do a 4-hour walk trudging up the hill in torrential rain. So I decided we're going to do a car camp instead, you guys, which I think is actually a really smart idea, because the area that I was going to be camping in, which had been expecting about 20 millimeters of rain per hour, is now expecting over 50 millimeters per hour. I think 250 mils over like a 6-hour period, so it's going to be really, really heavy. You don't want to be at the top of a mountain in that kind of weather. So I have found us a gorgeous spot to camp. At the moment it's almost raining, like you can feel it in the air, but I'm going to get camp set up before it actually the heavens open, and I'll catch up with you once that's all set up and show you around camp. I chucked a couple of things in when I left home because I had a feeling that I needed to be flexible. So we don't have much, but I have got a much more comfortable mat, a table, a chair, and I've brought the EcoFlow, which I can use to charge up all my electronic gear. I'm really happy with the tent setup. It's nice and tight. With all the rain that's coming, I want to make sure that it's pitched as well as I can pitch it. So I've got all the guy lines out, just making sure all the lines are really good for the runoff, and I'm really happy with it. I'm not used to putting up a tent with jandals on. Flip-flops, thongs, not sure what you guys call them. But the sandflies are going crazy biting me, so I'm going to go and put on my long trousers before I get the tarp set up. I'm going to put the tarp up between the truck and the tent so that I can move between the two. I don't need to cover the tent because it's really waterproof, but it would be nice to be able to move between the two without getting wet. So I'm going to do that now after I put some long pants on. I've got the trendy socks pulled up over the end of my pants. There's a method to all of my madness. The reason I'm putting this so far away, I had thought about hooking it onto here, but I want to get this line really long so it's not pulling down on the tent. I just want to make sure I protect my gear. So putting it further out means that it's not going to pull down and wear on it. So this bit could be slightly tricky, just figuring out where to tie onto. what are the chances of using the trees? Trees are a bit far away and a bit high. Okay, leave it with me. And just like magic, it'll be sorted in a moment. Ta-da! Magic. It's going to do for now, but I'm not 100% confident that it's going to be a good setup when the rain comes. But it's late. It's 20 past 8. It's 20 past 8 at night. I'm starving hungry. I'm going to get my table set up and my chair, and I'm going to cook some dinner. I was going to take you guys for a walk, but we might have to do a late walk or go tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. It's just getting too late. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my dinner set up, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. So disappointingly, dinner is just rice and tuna and spinach, which when you're at the top of a mountain and you've done a massive walk and you're cold and tired and hungry, is just magical. But when you're camping from a car, it sort of feels like you probably could do something more gourmet. But hey, what the heck, I'm going to really appreciate it because I am starving hungry. I really am so hungry. The tarp's really good at the moment. It gives me lots of room and I can see out, but I can tell when the rain gets heavier it's not going to be quite right. So I think after dinner I might do a little bit of alterations. We're fast losing the light, so I'm going to have to act quickly. I've got to get everything set up in the tent, and then I am going to move the truck and reconfigure this tarp. I'm going to say goodnight to you guys now, and I'll see you in the morning because it's really hard to film when it's really dark. So let's catch up in the morning. I'm in no rush tomorrow. It's going to be raining really heavily in the morning, and I think I'm just going to stick around and chill, have a really slow leisurely breakfast, and I'll have a chat to you guys then. We'll catch up in the morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning. Oh, well, it poured and poured overnight. It absolutely thundered down. So much so that I had to put some earplugs in. It was really nice actually when you got earplugs in because you can still hear a little bit, and I could hear the sound of the rain on the tent, but it wasn't so loud that it was like deafening. Before that it was really deafening and I couldn't get to sleep. Well, I'm really surprised because it was supposed to be pouring down till 10 a.m. and the sun is out. So I think, just in case this is temporary, I'm going to take you for a walk now and show you around. It's really early, I haven't even had my morning coffee, but let's go for a wander. I have put my full wet weather gear on because if it does start to rain, I don't want to get caught out on the walk, but also the grass is really wet. And so many times I've gone out for a walk in the wet grass and ended up with wet pants and wet socks, so I'm not doing that again. All right, camp is all shut up. I just need to, do I need to lock the car? It's habit, isn't it? I better lock the car. What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful morning. This is absolutely stunning. The clouds are moving so quickly. Yeah, there's still a whole lot of rain in those clouds. I've had to switch to the wireless microphone because it's really, really windy. So hopefully you're not getting too much wind noise. Wow. So in case you're wondering, this area, I'm in New Zealand and this area is in the South Island. It's in the Arthur's Pass National Park. I've done a few trips around here. I'm looking up at this beautiful peak up there, and in between the two is a valley, and that's the valley that I did. The wind is so strong my camera just fell over right in the middle of me trying to tell you that between those two peaks is a valley, and that's where I went on the very first camp that I ever filmed for YouTube. And then there's another peak up here that I've been up as well. I love this area, it's beautiful. really can't fault this Exped Venus 2 tent except for this. So these straps here tension up the tent once you've got the poles in, you pull them down, and that brings this down. But there's quite a big gap, and the water was coming off the tarp here, hitting the ground, and then the mud and dirt was splashing up under the tent. There you go, you can see it along there. So to its credit, even though the splashes of rain got on this underneath part, not a single drop of rain penetrated through the material. And there was a big puddle here going in under the corner of the tent, and the bathtub floor was perfectly dry. So as a comparison, here's the other side. And the poles go right down into the base of the tent there, and you can pull this one right down to ground level. Much better. Done. That boil time is so quick with that Fire Maple Star X1. It's funny because you don't think it's raining, and then when you turn this off and it's quiet, I can hear the little pitter-patters on the tarp. Oh well, I'm going to continue sitting out here until I can't. Righty-ho. I didn't bring any fancy coffee making paraphernalia because I was expecting a wild camp up on the mountain. And when I camp like that, I just put my coffee grinds straight into the pot, and then I've got this tiny little strainer that I strain it through, and that's it. I might have spoken too soon. It's raining. So this has turned out awesome. This has turned out to be such an awesome camp. It wasn't what I was expecting, but that's fine. I don't think you should ever have set ideas of what to expect when you're in the outdoors, because generally things change all the time anyway. Conditions change. Yeah, mostly it's the conditions. Sometimes I've got an idea of where I want to camp. Sometimes I've got an idea of how far it's going to be, and sometimes I have an idea of what the weather's going to do, and then things change. They just do, and you have to expect the unexpected. Make the most of what you've got. You might be wondering, seeing as I had my pack already packed with all that gear, why didn't I just do like a local walk, maybe one that goes up a valley or something flat, like maybe not up into the area that I was planning to go to. And the reason for that is honestly and truly, I went over the topographical map and the what am I trying to say? I spent ages looking at all the different walks that are in this area. And you know, one of the things about New Zealand walks that you'll find if you live here or if you come here is that most of them cross rivers. And most of the walks that I like going on don't have bridges over the rivers. So you have to find your own way across the rivers, which I love. It's really great. So most of my trips, when you see me doing wild camping trips, most of the time I'm crossing rivers or at least streams. But because of the weather that was forecast, and I don't know if it's been as bad as they said it was going to be, although I probably slept through most of it, because there was 250 millimeters of rain forecast, you have to take that seriously. If you go hiking in New Zealand, you have to take the rain seriously, because our rivers rise incredibly quickly, and the last thing you want to be doing is river crossings when there is torrential rain. It's just stupid, really stupid. So there's an amazing walk locally that I really considered doing, but I have to cross a significant river to get across to it. And that's fine when the weather's nice, or when you can wait out, like if it rains, say in the evening, and then you're walking out the next day at midday and it's cleared, that's fine. But I didn't want to take the risk. I probably could have in hindsight, because sitting here it feels like it hasn't been as bad as it was forecast. Having said that though, we're on the eastern side of what they call the divide. So the divide is like the mountain range that divides the east and west, and our weather systems come over from sort of Australia way, and this particular weather system has, and hits the west coast and dumps the rain generally. So comes over to the west coast, going up the mountains, dumps the rain. So west of the divide, torrential rain. They were forecasting slips and flooding and all sorts of stuff. This side seems to be a lot more tame, and that makes sense. So the place I was originally planning to go was west of the divide, and this is east. It's still drizzling and raining lightly on and off, but I don't really care. It's pretty windy, so I get drops of rain on my jacket, and then the wind comes through and dries them, and then I get more drops of rain, and then the wind comes and dries them. Yeah, I moved the table because I was just thinking, what a shame for you to have to sit and look at a dirty old truck when we've got this beautiful surrounding. So I've moved you and me. It's breakfast time. Now, I had been planning porridge for breakfast, and then I had brought some croissants and bacon and eggs. I know, in my little fandangle eggy doofer dacky thingy. Fresh eggs. This is my food and utensils pack that I was taking up the mountain, and I had been planning to be up there for lunch as well, because it's quite a long walk. So I think I'm going to ditch the porridge, because I actually don't need breakfast and lunch today. seeing as I'm doing a car camp, I can shout myself some lunch on the drive home. So I actually don't feel like the porridge. I would have felt like porridge in the rain at the top of a mountain, but I actually feel like the bacon and eggs and croissants, so that's what I'm going to do. Porridge is going to have to wait for another trip. I have got other trips planned, by the way, you guys, so if you've enjoyed this video, or maybe you were disappointed that I didn't get out to do a wild camp, stick around because I've got some more planned. I've got another one planned with Indy, and it's a doozy. It's going to be a doozy, a really good one, but I have to wait for the perfect weather window. Say no more. Here it is. I think it's actually called a Cochrane's egg holder. It's like the heaviest thing in my whole food bag. And my very crushed croissants. Because of the gusts of wind, I can hear the bacon cooking. It kind of goes cook and then stops as the gusts come and go because it's just blowing the flame. I need to create some kind of protection around it, but I just don't know if I can be bothered. Of course I can. Right. One of the strategies that I use for taking fresh stuff into the outdoors and keeping it as fresh as possible is that if I'm taking things like meat or bacon, sometimes even, I don't know, like fresh milk or orange juice, not that I'd often be doing that, I'll freeze it. So I'll put it in the freezer, and then usually it stays frozen in my pack on the walk into wherever I'm going, especially if the conditions aren't great and it's not super hot and sunny. And then overnight it defrosts, and in the morning it's perfect. So that's what I did with this bacon, which means that it's a little bit wet, like, you know, it's not frying up perfectly. Oh, oh no. Oh. Okay, this is where it gets messy, you guys. Oh, what a shame. Never mind. I think actually because that broke, I'm going to break that yolk as well. Because actually it's going to be impossible, isn't it? Impossible to get a whole egg out. Let's turn it into scrambled egg. Sacrilege! Right, here goes. So, I have got egg. I think actually scrambled egg is probably a smarter idea. It's not going to go all over the place. Bacon. And some fresh basil. Now that one's going to have fresh basil, and you guys might laugh at me when you see what I've got here. The strawberries were actually going to be for my breakfast for the porridge. But bacon and strawberry is delicious. If you've never had it, then you're probably cringing right now. But it's actually a really lovely combo. Actually, you might have had it on things like French toast. I don't know, in New Zealand anyway, pancakes and French toast sometimes have the option of bacon with berries like strawberries. Can I even close it? I'm not sure about eggs and strawberries, but certainly looks pretty. I'll do savoury first and then sweet. Yum! That's amazing. Amazing. What a stunning day this has turned out to be. Hello. Oh, hi. Hi. You want to take that? There's a little bird down here. I'm pretty sure he's got his eye on my croissant. I'm not going to feed you. That's really nice. I have to say that my favourite is the basil. In fact, I'm tempted to put some basil in there. Now I'm really going crazy. Strawberries and basil. Need to get a umbrella on you. Out again. Woo. I think that is going to be the story of this camp. It rains, it's sunny, it rains, it's sunny. It's raining and sunny. Huh. Right, well the sun is out. The tent and tarp are dry again. It's time to pack up and go home. I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you for liking the video, and if you haven't already, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed to the channel. The subscriber numbers are growing all the time and it's so exciting. So I'm well over 6,000 now, and starting to plan something special for when the channel hits 10,000 subscribers. So keep an eye out for that. There's lots more adventures that I have planned, both on my own and with Indy. Lots and lots of ideas for the coming year. Big special thank you to those people who have given us a small donation on Buy Me a Coffee and also on YouTube Super Thanks. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. I couldn't do this without your support. I really appreciate it. If you're wondering how you can show your appreciation for all the effort and the time and the energy that goes into creating these videos for you guys, then check out YouTube Super Thanks or Buy Me a Coffee. I'll put a link there for Buy Me a Coffee. It's a great way just to support me, to support Indy, to support the channel. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next adventure. Until then, bye.